Michael Chang began his career in a small consulting company. As a young manager, he was forceful with his opinion and ran towards brutal honesty. Over time, he saw its damaging effect and reflected, it certainly doesn't get people to blossom. As Michael gained leadership experience, he began to realize that when you become the leader, the center of gravity is no longer yourself. He had a mentor who taught him that the leader's job is to put other people on stage. He began to shift his focus to others, and he became less controlling and learned to give people space, where he used to jump in and do it for them. He learned and hold back. He found that not only do other people step up, they often surprise you by producing something better than you would have. As he has grown as a leader, he has learned to become direct without being disruptive. He has learned how to create an environment where he could tell the truth and have others grow from it. Today, this manager is a CEO of a thriving startup company. He has developed several practices that give space for others to do their own best work. He makes a conscious effort to create learning environment by recruiting people with a strong learning orientation and then often admitting his own mistakes. This gives others permission to make and recover from their own mistakes. When offering his opinion, he distinguishes hard opinions from soft opinions. Soft opinions signal to his team, here are some ideas for you to consider in your own thinking. Hard opinions are reserved for times when he holds a very strong view. Here's a leader who began his career headed down the path of a management tyrant, but who has become a multiplier and liberator himself. The accomplishment is significant when you consider the path of least resistance for most smart, driven leaders is to become a tyrant. Even Michael said, it's not like it isn't tempting to be tyrannical when you can. Let's face it, corporate environments and modern organizations are the perfect setup for diminishing leadership and have a certain built-in tyranny. The org charts, the hierarchy, the titles, the approval matrices skew power toward the top and create incentives for people to shut down and comply. In any hierarchical organization, the playing field is rarely level. The senior leaders stand on the high side of the field and ideas, and policies roll easily down to the lower side. Policies established to create order often unintentionally keep people from thinking. At best, these policies limit intellectual range of motion as they straitjacket the thinking of the followers. At worst, these systems shut down thinking entirely. These hierarchical structures make it easy for tyrants to reign. And in their reign, these managers can easily suppress and constrain the thinking of people around them. Consider the fate of Kate, a corporate manager who began her career as an intelligent, driven, and creative collaborator. She was promoted into management and moved quickly from frontline manager to vice president and is now running a large organization. She still sees herself as an open-minded, creative thought leader. But in a recent 360-degree feedback report, she was shocked to find that her people don't seem to agree. As she read the report, she could see that her strong ideas were hampering the creativity and capability of her people, and her drive for results was making it difficult for people to be truthful and take risks. One of the comments read, "It is just easier to hold back and let Kate do thinking." Kate was stunned. Every step she had taken up the corporate ladder made it much easier for her to unintentionally kill other people's ideas. The nature of the hierarchy had skewed power, making every conversation Kate had with a subordinate inherently unequal. The playing field was tilted in her favor. An off-the-cuff remark could be translated as a strong opinion and turned into policy for her division. If she rolled her eyes or slightly sharply after someone's comment, everyone in the room noticed, and avoided saying anything they thought would produce the same reaction. She had more power than she had realized. She had become an accidental diminisher. I suspect I saw too many military movies in college because they all started to look alike. Inevitably, there would be a scene where an army private who was privy to some debacle would stand at attention and nervously appeal to the commanding officer. "Permission to speak freely, sir." I could never understand this strange custom, and why someone would need permission to speak freely. After all, I was in college where thinking and speaking freely was the norm. However, after several years in the workplace, I clearly understood. Formal hierarchies suppress the voices and often ideas of those at the bottom. Multipliers liberate people from the oppressive forces within corporate hierarchy. They liberate people to think, to speak, and to act with reason. They create an environment where the best ideas surface and where people do their best work. They give people permission to think.